This article is being read by an automated voice. Chapter 5.2 Regulators take aim at R404A. In June, Australia's Department of Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water, also known as the DCCEW, opened a public consultation period on policy options designed to reduce the use of HFCs in commercial refrigeration. At issue particularly is R404A, which has a 100-year GWP of 4,728 and a 20-year GWP of 587,208. The DCCEW noted that imports of R404A as a percentage of total HFC imports increased from 12.6% in 2016 to 16.3% in 2021, with condensing units and small racks helping drive demand. The policy proposals directly and indirectly target R404A-based commercial refrigeration equipment. The direct measures include a ban on new imports of R404A or a restriction that the refrigerant only be used to service existing equipment. Controls on recycled R404A were proposed too. The DCCEW said it was considering exemptions for both the import ban and recycled refrigerant controls. The indirect measures consist of GWP limits for refrigerants in commercial refrigeration equipment, with the proposed limits varying by equipment type. The measures are a GWP limit of 150 for self-contained and plug-in commercial equipment, which includes refrigerated cabinets, ice makers, beverage coolers, self-contained blast chillers, and refrigerated food lockers. The DCCEW said small self-contained refrigeration equipment in Australia primarily uses hydrocarbon refrigerants. A GWP limit of 1,500 for medium-sized commercial refrigeration equipment, which includes slide-in/drop-in, self-contained refrigeration units, chillers, and condensing units. The GWP 1,500 threshold would apply to most new equipment and condensing units in this category. The DCCEW said, with equipment that cools at or below -20 degrees Celsius, or -4 Fahrenheit, subject to an initial GWP limit of 2,500 that would eventually decrease to 1,500. The DCCEW said equipment in this segment primarily uses R404A, a GWP limit of 150 for new large commercial refrigeration equipment, roughly defined by the DCCCEW as refrigeration systems used in large supermarkets. For cascade systems, a GWP limit of 1,500 for the primary refrigerant is proposed. The DCCEW declined to set GWP limits for process and industrial refrigeration equipment, and stating that the segment is understood to largely use refrigerants other than HFCs, primarily ammonia and CO2. The public comment period for the proposal closed on August 8th, and as of this writing, the DCCEW has not announced next steps regarding the policy. There is some precedent for refrigerant GWP limits in Australia, with the country recently setting limits of the types of refrigerants that can be used in certain air conditioning units. In 2024, the Ozone Protection and Synthetic Greenhouse Gas Management Act, 1989, was amended to prohibit the import and manufacture of small synthetic greenhouse gas air conditioning equipment containing or using HFCs with a GWP over 750 without a license beginning July 1, 2024. Multi-head small synthetic greenhouse gas AC equipment, which are similar to split systems, falls under the prohibition beginning July 1, 2025. For both types of air conditioning equipment, the ban only applies to those with a charge of 2.6 kilograms of refrigerant or less. At the local level, Parramatta City placed GWP limits on commercial refrigeration equipment back in 2022. The city of 256,000 enacted a new regulation requiring new air conditioning and refrigeration equipment to use refrigerants with a GWP of less than 10. It provides for exceptions if low GWP equipment can't be supplied on similar terms to conventional systems, and if costs are more than 10% higher than the market rate for conventional systems.